Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness. Day 41 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. All right. So first, to begin, we're going to get into our meditation routine. But I just need to set my alarms. We will begin the show. All right, everybody. I will see you all on the other side. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Dawood, blessings, my brother. Thank you. Happy Tuesday. Amanda, good morning. AJ, good morning. Auntie Luisa, good morning. Amy, good morning. My brother Al, welcome back, my sir. Happy Tuesday. All right. So we just finished our meditation routine. Now we're going to get into our journaling routine. Day 41. I will see you all on the other side. All right. Okay, so welcome back. We just finished our journaling routine. Um, Now we're going to get into our reading routine. So I will see you all on the other side. All right. Welcome back, everybody. So we got into what chapter? Chapter 7 yesterday. And the character that we were referencing was Judy. And Judy had a fear-based perspective in how she was running her business. And so she was running her business not from a standpoint of making money to survive and feed her family and grow, but from a standpoint of fear. Capitalism is bad, being in denial about her pretty much running a business and needing money to survive. And so then now this is the second half of the story. So after she talked to Marianne Williamson, which is the author of the book, she started to change her mindset. Okay. So what Judy needed more than anything was to align her thinking with the natural patterns of the universe. And for that, we prayed. She adopted a different attitude and opened herself to new beginnings. I've heard it said that prayer doesn't change a situation for you so much as it changes you for the situation. It changes the effect in your life because it changes you on the level of cause. If we convince, this is so powerful, especially when you have people like attorneys or scientists or doctors who tell you that things are supposed to be a certain way. Things are supposed to be a certain way because fact and evidence say that it is. So therefore, any other opinion doesn't matter. But the author makes a really good point when she says, let's say you've tried everything, okay? Let's say you've tried every single thing to cure, to heal, to get out of a situation, whatever it is. When the scientists and when the doctors tell you, there's nothing else we can do, then what do? You pray, right? You go to prayer or you start moving into prayer. So Marianne makes a fantastic point when she says, why not just start prayer when you have the idea or when the thing starts to happen to you or whatever it is? Because you're now you're starting to go into the control mindset of the universe, and you're allowing these blessings to shower upon you, versus waiting and waiting and waiting, or letting a doctor tell you or diagnose you with whatever the hell it is that you're experiencing. And I get it. Again, we've said this a million of times over. I get it. People really do get sick. Pause. But how are you going to choose to heal yourself? How are you going to choose mentally to hold yourself in a space? What space are you going to hold yourself into? A space of victimhood and sickness, or of triumphantness and happiness? Are there people who have defeated sickness? Yes, there are. There's plenty of people. Why? I don't know, because I can't survey all of them. But to my biggest point here is the victimhood mentality. And obviously my heart goes out to anybody out there who is facing, sickness or anything like that, right? Aside and above it all, I can't explain, I can't question God's, decisions and what he does. But at the end of the day, I do feel like I have seen people who have remained positive through sicknesses. I have seen people who continue to shine light on their lives and affect other people positively in their lives, through whatever it is that they're going through. So I do believe there's two realities, but I can't speak too much on it. If we convince ourselves that there is no hope, our subconscious mind edits out the picture, any evidence that might prove otherwise. So in our minds, we're like, okay, there's no hope. Then there is no hope. If you in your mind say there is hope, then you're waiting on a miracle to show up. And a miracle is a metaphysical reality. It's not a imaginative or good luck. It's not that. It's metaphysical, which means it's beyond. It's beyond. Meta means beyond. So it's beyond the physical, beyond what the physical can comprehend, right? Beyond what the physical space tells us. It's a mindset. It's a thought. And that imagination taps into the universe. And with the universe, there is nothing on earth that is bigger than the universe and the energy that it gives to us. As a reflection of the mind of God, the universe intends that you self-actualize. And sometimes that means not getting what you want in order to realize you're fine without it. I like that. Interesting. Which counterintuitively then paves the way for you to attract something bigger and better, which is very interesting. The universe was not invested in Judy's cafe, but in Judy's enlightenment. Self-actualization involves detachment, not attachment to form. It acknowledges that form is limited, but spirit is not. Our physicals are limited, our spirits are not. And that's a very important thing to remember. Why? Well, because oftentimes we get attached to money. We get attached to the things that we have. We get attached to our what we can qualify for. We get attached to how much money we make. We get attached to all these things, but those aren't the things that define us. Pause. Those aren't the things that define me. I can speak for myself. And it's suggested that shouldn't define your mindset and how you perceive and how you carry yourself with confidence. You are but one thought away from being financially free. Seeing it, visualizing it, and executing, moving toward that direction every single day, you have the door open for that miracle to bless you. Remember, you are not asking that a force outside of you magically change external circumstances, so what you wake up to every single day. You are asking that a divine guide within you change the nature of your thoughts. And when something in your business goes wrong, say this: Dear God, I know that you are bigger than my business problem. Facts. But by myself, I cannot fix this. Please guide my thinking, open my heart, and send a miracle. Amen. Powerful. And so that's all we got. Oh, wait. No, hold on. I got one more. I think I got one more. Okay. So then we segue into chapter 8, Spiritual Surrender. This book is called The Law of Divine Compensation. The thinking, this is a big one. And we're going to end here. The thinking of the world is simply upside down, with the naturalness of love feeling almost unnatural at times, and the unnaturalness of fear feeling natural. The most powerful, liberating thing we can do is to break from the fear-based thinking that dominates the world, to surrender the mindset the world has taught us to accept a new one instead. So what that means is the world a lot of the time, encourages a mindset of fear. Oh no, what if this happens? Oh no, what if this happens? And love does feel a little bit unnatural at times, because people associate different things with people who love, and love hard. So if I extend my love to everyone I know and who I don't know, some people may try to take advantage of that. Some people might try to criticize that. Some people think it's weird. Some people have, whatever other infinite realities that there are. And I believe that there's many things that stem from that. But the unsaid influences of media, the unsaid influences of people and society and things that we run into, people we talk to, are constantly bombarding our non-conscious or our subconscious, also known as the subconscious. We don't say subconscious because in Larry Kendall's Ninja Selling book, to say sub means it's below the actual consciousness. So we say non-conscious, right? So non-conscious. So the non-conscious is constantly being bombarded and picking up on these messages, and it's amazing when you stop and you pay attention to your thoughts and you pay attention to, the things that you see on a daily basis, because, excuse me, sorry about that. It's important that you pay attention to thought and the things that you see on a daily basis, because these things are to a certain degree having an impact on your mental and your thought processes. Okay, so one way to withstand that is to stop and think. Look where your life is at. Say, okay, well, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? And then remind yourself that people and their opinions, they all come from a place. And that's not necessarily a place you have to identify with, right? And so if you know who you are, the more time you spend digging within, like digging out the God within and tapping into the God within, you're gonna hit a gold mine within you. And other people's opinions and other people's perspectives will, obviously, if they're serving you, they'll serve you. But if they're not serving you, you'll be able to just, push them to the side, which I think is very powerful. And then you won't allow, like I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were making a decision. They were torn between this decision, and it involved them making this going this way or going that way. And as I was talking to this person, they mentioned to me and said, I didn't want to call anybody because I wanted to have uninfluenced, uninterrupted thinking, which is super huge, because one of the first things that we do, if we get into trouble or if we get into something, or we have a thought or a change of mind, is we try to go and consult with people. But the people that we're confiding and consulting with may not have our best interest in mind, and or they may, but they can't see beyond, the physical space. They don't have the pause. They have the capacity, but they haven't woken up, or they haven't waken up to that reality quite yet. And so they may not be able to see it for themselves. And so therefore they may not be able to see it for you. That's what Les Brown says. So, it's very important to be mindful and have and understand where your thoughts are coming from and knowing who you are. Because the more you know who you are, the easier it will become to, understand these thoughts, understand these messages, and not get confused in the shuffle, because there's a lot of confusing and just wild stuff out there. So with that being said, we're going to finish our segment today. What's today, 11th? Pardon me. So today's December 11th. This book, Your Best You Ever, dedicates one page for each day of each month. Today's December 11th. The title of this passage: So Many Temptations. No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with temptation will also make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it. This world is filled to the brim with temptations. Some of these temptations are small, eating a second scoop of ice cream or gummy bears. For example, is tempting, but not very dangerous. Other temptations, however, are not nearly so harmless. The devil is working 24/7, and he's causing pain and heartache in more ways than ever before. Thankfully, in the battle against Satan, we are never alone. God is always with us, and he gives us the power to resist temptation whenever we ask him for the strength to do so. In a letter to believers, Peter offered a stern warning. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. As Christians, we must take that warning seriously, and we must behave accordingly. Man without God is always torn between two urges. His nature prompts him to do wrong, and his conscience urges him to do right. Christ can rid you of that inner conflict. Billy Graham. A lesson for the heart and soul. Sometimes immortality is obvious, and sometimes it's not. So beware. The most subtle forms of sin are often the most dangerous. And I don't know, obviously none of us are perfect. People will say that all the time. At the same time, I would say I don't know any other way to live. And only time will tell for me. But I don't know any other way to live at this current time or today, where we're not taking this time out of the day to do these activities. When, when you go to bed, at whatever time you go to bed, you wake up in the morning, and then when you wake up in the morning, what do? You get ready for work, you go to work. Unless you're self-employed, your schedule might be a little bit different. You go to work, and then after you go to work, you check your emails, you come home, you eat. If it's a Friday or Sunday during football season, you may or may not watch the game. And if it's basketball, you may or may not watch the game. And then, you may go out somewhere, you might go for a walk. But where's your release? Where are you finding time to stop and be mindful of your sins, the thoughts that come to your mind that don't serve you? When are you finding that time to work on yourself? So I think we'll just continue doing this because we have another what, 24 days. So we'll just keep going on this journey. So everybody out there, thank you for joining me. Day 41 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. And I will see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Make today the best day of your life. And remember, always remember, confide and trust in yourself, because the power is within you. Your greatest future and your greatest next idea is going to come from within you. Keep that to yourself. Share that with yourself and love yourself abundantly. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.